বিকাশ বাবু, বিকাশ বাবু,
জি শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ওই 128 বিকাশ বাবু, ওই লাইন এখন ক্লিয়ার হয়েছে না হয় না এখনো?
এখনো দেখাচ্ছে রেকর্ড ইজ নট ফাউন্ড ইন আওয়ার সিস্টেম।
এখনো হয় না না? এরা 43টা নাকি এখনো করতে পারেনি। যাই হোক, নো ওরি মাই ডিয়ার। আপনি সহ আর একজন ইয়ে থাকেন তো, আর আপনারা যতক্ষণ ইয়ে না করেন এটা নিয়ে চিন্তা নাই। ম্যাক্সিমামই এনরোল করে ফেলছে, 43 জন মনে এখনো বাকি আছে। এই জন্য আমি কেন বললাম, আমি একটা লিস্ট তৈরি করছি রাজশাহী ডিভিশনের, ওখানে 8 জনই এনরোল। আমাদের বিকাশ বাবুটা হচ্ছে নাই তো, আমি বলছি অলরেডি। এটা হলো সিএ ভবন, আপনারা যারা দূরে আছেন, আমি বসে একতলা থেকে কথা বলতেছি। এই জন্য এখানেই সব আপনারা লেখাপড়া করেন, আর যতক্ষণ আপনাদের ইয়ে না হচ্ছে প্রয়োজন ওরা ডেকে নেবে, আপনাদেরকে ডেকে নেওয়া হবে। ওই জন্য প্রিপারেশন নেন। আর বিকাশ বাবুরও বলি যে আমি রবিবারে আবার হয়তো কথা বলবো, আপনি একটু চেষ্টা করেন তো আর একজন নেওয়া যায় কিনা। বোঝা গেছে বাবু?
আচ্ছা,
আপনি কি পরীক্ষা দিবেন, মানে হ্যাভ ইউ ডিটারমাইন্ড টু সিট ফর দ্য এক্সাম?
হ্যাঁ
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, চিন্তা করেন না। আমি অলরেডি আপনার কথা বলছি, আমাদের ছাত্র বিকাশ ইয়া করতে হবে, এই সেই এটার একটা ইয়ে হয়ে গেছে আর কি। অনেক ছাত্র ভোগান্তিতে, অনেকে আবার নিস্তার পেয়ে গেছে, বিকাশবাবু করে যান। আর যদি আমি তো এডুকেশন নিয়ে কাজ করি, এডুকেশনের তো আমি দেখভাল করি, তো কাজে মাই টকিং ইজ নট রাইট, এই লাইফ মানে হালকা ফর ইউ। গাজী সংগ্রাম, গাজী বহু বিয়ে বলেন।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
বলে কি খবর গাজী? ভালো ভাই আমার। আপনি,
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ স্যার ভালো আছি।
আপনার নাম শুনলেই শরীর গরম হয়ে যায়। থ্যাংক ইউ। এরকম নাম আগে আমি একটু মজা করি, আমাদের সদ্য সিও স্যারের ক্লাস, এই জন্য সবাই প্রস্তুতি রাখেন। হয়তো আমার সাথে ইয়ে হয়ে গেছে, আর সিনাপসিস গুলো একটু দেখেন, ফাঁকে ফুঁকে একটু কথাবার্তা বলতে হবে। আমরা যে ক্লাসটা আয়োজন করি, আমাদের মোটো কিন্তু ভাই এই বোনরা যারা ক্লাসটাকে ইফেক্টিভ করা হয়। এই যে ধরেন এমনি ডন্টে কাদারাই সকাল 8টায় আসি আমি এখান থেকে লিভ করতে, আপনার 9টা সোয়া 9টা। এই জন্য যেটা কাজের জন্য এসব করি বলে, আর আমাকে যারা দেখছে এখানে আপনারা আসেন নাই তো, এই জন্য সব। এই জন্য যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছি যে সবকিছুতে ইয়ে থাকবেন। আর ওই যাদের হয়নি, কি বলে রেজিস্ট্রেশন না হবেই। পরীক্ষা 25 তারিখ, শিডিউল এখনো হয়নি। আপনারা যতক্ষণ কনফার্ম না হবেন ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত শিডিউল দেওয়া হবে না। কাজে বিকাশ বাবু কোনো ভয় নাই। আর আরেকটু বলি যে আরেকজন দরকার, রাজশাহীতে যারা পরীক্ষা দিবেন বিকাশ বাবুর সাথে, নাজিমুলের সাথে, মাহমুদুল হাসানের সাথে প্যাস যোগাযোগ করেন। সংগ্রাম, গাজী বলেন।
স্যার আমিও এই সাইন আপের বিষয়ে কথা বলতে চাচ্ছিলাম, আর সেই দিন যে নাম্বারটা দিয়েছেন স্যার সেটাতেও কল দিছিলাম, তো উনি বলছে যে হচ্ছে আমি তো
114,
ক্লাস।
114-তে।
স্যার যে নাম্বারটা দিয়েছিলাম ওইটাতে কল দিছে, উনি বলছে যে আমি তো ক্লাস রিলেটেড সব সমস্যার সমাধান করি, আর আপনার রেজিস্ট্রেশন হচ্ছে না, এটা এক্সাম ডিপার্টমেন্ট দেখবে, তো ওনাদের সাথে কথা বলে।
আমি ঠিক আছে, ওই আপনি হয়তো ওইভাবে বুঝাতে পারেন নাই। সরকার ভাই বলছে আপনি 114-তে ফোন করবেন, আর ফোন করার দরকার নেই। আপনাদের এটা যতক্ষণ কনফার্ম না হচ্ছে, আমি তো বলেই দিলাম, ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত ইউ উইল বি গেটিং অপরচুনিটি। আপনাদেরটা কনফার্ম হবে, আমার কাছে জানবে যে হয়ে গেছে হালিম ভাই বা হালিম স্যার, আমি বলবো ছাত্রদের সাথে আগে ঘুরে আসি, তারপরে এক্সাম রেজাল্ট হবে, এই সরি রুটিন হবে। কাজেই যেটা বলি যে আপনার লেখাপড়া করুন, এটা একটা ত্রুটি, মানে কি গোটা ডিভাইসটাকে আপডেট করতে এদের অবস্থা আসলেই ইয়ে হয়ে গেছে। আর আপনাদের আগে এই রোল ছিল না তো, ঢুকানো হয়েছে, ঢুকাতে হলে প্রথম থেকে নাকি শুরু করা লাগে। এখন অনলাইন ইয়ে তো একটা যদি মেজার ইয়ে হয়ে যায় তাহলে সব তছনছ হয়ে যাবে। এই জন্য একটু সলিটারি পেটেন্টস, অসুবিধা নাই, সবকিছু হয়ে যাবে। তাহলে এখন সংগ্রাম, আমার নাম্বার জানেন তো, আমার ফোন দিবেন। আর এত চিন্তার কিছু নাই। আই উইল কালকে তো না, আবার আই এগেইন কাম বিফোর ইউ, রবিবারে ইনশাল্লাহ। আর আবার বলি আমি, আপনারা যখন বলবেন যে হ্যাঁ আর অবজেকশন নাই, আমরা সব অ্যাপ্লাইড ফর তারপর দ্য এক্সাম, বুঝা গেল, তখন অ্যাডমিট কার্ড ইস্যু
জি
হবে।
স্যার।
এই জন্য অত কষ্টের কারণ নাই, এত চিন্তার কারণ নাই। আপনারা যারা পরীক্ষা দিবেন, এতে আমার রিকমেন্ডেশন লাগবে আপনাদের, যেহেতু ক্লাস চালু আছে, আবার ক্লাস যখন শেষ হয়ে যাবে, আপনাদের সার্টিফিকেট এগুলো আমাকে দায়িত্ব দেওয়া, আমি ইস্যু করবো ক্লাস অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স সার্টিফিকেট। আপনার ফার্ম থেকে একটা লাগবে, আর আমার একটা, কাজেই যাবে কই আমার কিন্তু এত চিন্তা না। এই জন্যই তো বলতেছি যে চিন্তার কারণ আপনি পড়েন। আর এটা যেটা করছে এটা ঠিক না, ইনস্টিটিউট যেহেতু একটু ইয়েতে পড়ে গেছে, রেকর্ডিং হচ্ছে, আমি এত কথা না বলি, তো এই জন্য এখানেই থাক। আর আরেকটু যেটা বলতে চাইলাম যে ক্লাসগুলো ক্লাসগুলো আমরা কোনো মতেই এমন না হয় অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স আমার হয়ে গেছে, হয়তো আপনি দিতে পারবেন 60 হলে হয়তো আমরা ছেড়ে দিই, কিন্তু এই পরীক্ষার আগ পর্যন্ত ক্লাসগুলো আপনারা ইয়ে করেন না, কি বলে যে অ্যাবসেন্ট থাকবেন না, অনুপস্থিত থাকবেন না। আর ঈদের যে ইয়েটা, মানে ইউ আর গেটিং ফর সেলিব্রেশন অফ ঈদ উল আজহা, বিশেষ করে আমরা যেভাবে আমাদের একাডেমিক ইয়ে বোর্ড থেকে অ্যাপ্রুভ করা থাকে ওইভাবে যাবো। যে আপনারা যে যেখানে থাকেন এইভাবে ক্লাসে মোবাইল দিয়েও জয়েন করা যায়, করবেন, ল্যাপটপ না হলেও ইয়ে করবেন, কাজে অসুবিধা নেই। অন্যান্য যে যে সাবজেক্ট গুলো আপনি এবার পরীক্ষা নাও দিচ্ছেন, ক্লাসগুলো করে রেখেন, কারণ ক্লাস তো একবারই ম্যান্ডেটরি, আবার আসবে, আবার আপনাকে ফার্দার করতে হবে, কাজে ক্লাসটা ভালো মতো করে ইয়ে রেখেন। আর অত ভয়ের কিছু নাই, দু একটা যারা বললাম আমরা সবাই অবগত আছি যে দু একজন আমাদের ডিভাইসের কারণে যদি ফর্ম ফিল আপ না করতে পারে, নিয়ে না, আপনারা কনফার্ম করে নিশ্চিত হয়েই আমরা তারপরে হয়তো অ্যাডমিট কার্ড ইস্যু অথবা অন্যান্যতে যাবে, এবং এখানে আমাদের সকলেরই পার্টিসিপেশন আছে, কাজে অসুবিধা নাই। আর আমাদের সিও স্যার সদা অবগত আছেন, এত কি বলে যে চিন্তার কারণ নাই, হয়তো হয়ে যাবে 43 বা 40-এর মতো, 47-এর মতো ইয়ে আছে, এটা হয়ে যাবে। তো এই গেল। আর আমরা 7:34-এ স্যারকে হয়তো 2-3 মিনিটের পরে আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, হ্যান্ড ওভার করে দিব। তো এই গেল। আর কালকের ইয়েগুলো ক্লাস, যেহেতু আমরা ওভাবে যাই না, যেভাবে শুক্রবারে ক্লাস চলতেছে ওভাবে চলুক, শনিবারেও যেটা যেভাবে আছে এভাবে চলুক, অর্থাৎ ওভারলোডিং দরকার নেই। আমরা যেহেতু 25 তারিখে পরীক্ষা, আশা করতেছি ইনশাল্লাহ as per schedule, normal and taking normal steps, class will be what completed as গেল। আর এমনিতে সিনপসিস যেগুলো পাচ্ছেন নিয়ে করতেছেন, চর্চা রেখে, আর বিশেষ করে প্রত্যেকটা ক্লাসে রেসপন্স করেন, যেটা জানেন না ক্যাপ্টেন এবং এরা সবাই সরব থেকে স্পন্টেনিয়াসলি রেসপন্স করে এইভাবে। আর আমাদের আজকের যে ক্লাস সেটা সিনপসিস এইভাবে যাবে, একটু দেখে আসবেন। প্লিজ ট্রাই টু do your Bengali and have also our what holy respect to our language, no problem, but we should try to also practice as taken and also guided by the institute what medium of instruction English, তো এই জন্য একটু সুযোগ। আর সত্যি বলি যে আমাদের শ্রদ্ধেয় স্যারের ক্লাসটা আপনাদের ইংলিশ শেখার জন্য এক বিশাল সুযোগ ছিল এবং এখন আছে। এই জন্য এটাকে ইয়ে করবেন, শুনতেছেন, এটাতে ভাবতেছেন, সিম্পল ইংরেজি চেষ্টা করতেছেন, বেঁধে যাচ্ছেন, এটাতে আবার ক্লিয়ার হচ্ছে। এবং টানা যে কোনো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ যখন শ্রবণ করা যায়, চেষ্টা করা যায় এবং ওটা ধরে রাখা যায়, ওটা হয়ে যায় once upon a time। ওই জন্য এগুলো খেয়াল রাখি। আর জুয়েল রান্না, ইউ ভেরি effective captain and also dynamic, no problem। স্যারের সাথে এভাবে ইনক্লুডিং অল আমাদের রেবাদুল্লাহ, বিকাশ বাবু, তারপরে নাজরুল, নোট ডাউন উইথ আমাদের ম্যাডাম সাদিয়া, অলসো ইউ আর গুড, যে আমরা ওইভাবে ক্লাস করবো। তো আমি মনে হয় স্যারকে দিয়ে দিয়ে স্যার আমাকে,
স্যার একটা কোশ্চেন ছিল।
হ্যাঁ নাজমুল তাড়াতাড়ি। হ্যাঁ ভাই,
স্যার আমরা হচ্ছে প্রি আর্টিকেলে যারা স্টুডেন্ট আছে ফার্স্ট টাইম 11 ব্যাচে ক্লাস করছি, আমরা রেজিস্ট্রেশন করতে পারছি না, আমরা কি আসলে পরীক্ষাটা দিতে
ওইটা
পারবো?
ওইটা আমি বললাম যে কিছু 47 জনের মতো আছে আপনাদের, আমাদের শ্রদ্ধেয় প্রধান নির্বাহী স্যার বলেই দিছেন আজকে আমাদের গেস্ট ফ্যাকাল্টি এখানে, এবং আমাদের প্রধান তো অফিস প্রধান স্যার তো বলে দিছেন আমাদের এক্সামকে ইয়েকে যে, এবং আমরাও কনফার্ম যতক্ষণ না হবে ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত এনরোলমেন্ট চলবে এবং তারপরে পরবর্তী প্রক্রিয়া হবে। তো আপনি বিশ্বস্ততার সাথে এটা আপনি ধরে নেন যে আশা করা যায় রবিবারের ভিতরে হয়তো সবকিছু হয়ে যাবে। আর আমরা গরিব মানুষের কথা বলছি না, কারণ আমরা যারা আছি আমরাও পার্ট অফ ম্যানেজমেন্ট। আর সবচেয়ে বড় যে আপনারা আমাদের প্রধান নির্বাহী স্যার আছেন এখানে, আপনি এত চিন্তা করেন। থ্যাংক ইউ। আর এক কথা না বলি নাজমুল, আই থিঙ্ক ইউ জয়েন্ট, আই থিঙ্ক লেটার, ওকে, পরে এসেছেন এগুলো
Yes,
আগে
sir, because sir has already discussed. Sir
Sadia?
already বলেছে। Yes, sir, you already discussed the issue.
হ্যাঁ, এই জন্য সময় নষ্ট না করি, একটু বুঝে সুঝে। থ্যাংক ইউ সাদিয়া ম্যাডাম। তো থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আর একটু ভালো মতো ক্লাস করি। আর যেটা বলতে চাচ্ছি যে আবার দেখা হবে, হ্যাঁ, আর সিনোপসিস গুলো একটু দেখে আসবো আর একটু সরব থাকবো। এগেইন থ্যাংকস অল। স্যার, I am your Halim sir, and may I request please you may come in front, that means video or UL system, and just to start your video session. Sir, please. Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, Adab, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir. And let me permission to leave and also start your valuable guidance to our students. So, madam, আমাদের এবং নাজিম সকলকে অভিভাবক আমাদের সামনে আমরা শুরু করি। মুন্নি, থ্যাংক ইউ বোন। আমি বিদায় নিলাম। স্যার প্লিজ, আদাব স্যার, আদাব।
Okay. All right. Good evening to everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Welcome to this session. I think this is the synopsis number 3 distributed to you through the student counseling department.
Yes, sir.
And the same synopsis was used in the previous class, maybe for another section, not your section. So I'm using this section for the similar class, and I hope that you have gone through the synopsis distributed to you. Did you have a chance to go through the synopsis? If not, you can just listen to the class with due attention. If you listen to the class with due attention, then I hope you would be able to understand. And this is all related to section 19 of the Income Tax Ordinance 1984, which is actually deemed income. And you will find deemed income, deemed investment, etc. under this section. And a lot of provisions are there. And all the provisions are very important because this is section 19, but this is related to other sections as well. Sometimes you will find that one section is related to section 24, another section is related to section 26, another section related to section 28, another section related to section 31, like that, or 33, whatever it is. So there is a relation to other sections all the time. And this is very important from the viewpoint of assessment, because whenever the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes is making the assessment, he will find out the income or determining the income. And while determining the income, he has to mention in the assessment order which part of the income goes under specific sections, not only under one section, rather it goes under various sections. Say, for example, one income could be related to business, another income could be related to capital gain, or another income could be related to income from other sources. So you have to understand, from the same transaction, you will have the chance to determine income from various sources. Let us start with this. In the handout, you will see that number 1 is unexplained cash credit, section 19(1). Unexplained cash credit. It means that any sum has been found or credited in the books of accounts of the SSC, which the SSC cannot explain properly, or if the SSC explains the source of the income before the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes is not satisfied with the explanation given by the SSC. Hence, he will not accept it, and he will treat that income under section 33. 33 means income from other sources. So, what is said here? If you go to the Income Tax Ordinance 1984, that would be much easier for you to understand, because that gives you the elaboration about the section 19(1). So subsection 1 of section 19. So what is said in subsection 1, section 19? If you go through it, or if you have the income tax ordinance with you, then please go through it or have a look at it. Where any sum is found credited in the books of an SSC maintained for any income year, and the SSC offers no explanation about the nature and source thereof, or the explanation offered is not, in the opinion of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, satisfactory, the sum so credited shall be deemed to be his income for that income year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. So the main issue is, you will find one sum credited in the books of the accounts of the SSC maintained by him for the income year. So how you can see a sum credited in the books of the accounts? So very simply, we can say that whenever you find an amount of money credited in the bank account of the SSC, so money should be credited to the bank account. What does it indicate? It indicates that the money has come into the business from a particular source. Maybe the SSC has sold out his goods or sold out his services to a particular person, and the person has paid it off by depositing a certain amount of money in the books of the accounts. Books of accounts means the bank account of the SSC. So whenever any sum is found credited in the bank account of the SSC, it means that the income has been generated by the SSC. So the DCT will ask for the amount that has been credited, and he will of course ask him from which source the money was coming into his bank account. So if the SSC can say that, okay, this is from my business, and that is by virtue of my sale, I got that money, it is okay. But it should be in line with the books of accounts maintained by the SSC, that means the sale book or the daily register. If the SSC has maintained the sale book, of course, it should match the bank account. Otherwise, it cannot be said that it is from sale that has been made by the SSC. So if the SSC cannot properly explain it, the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes to treat this income as income from other source under Section 33. So when the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes will write in the assessment order, he will write like this. He will write that this amount has been found credited in the books of accounts of the SSC, and the SSC was asked to explain it as to its source, but the SSC could not give me the proper explanation as to the nature and source of that amount. Hence, I would like to treat it as income from other source under Section 33, read with Section 19(1). So he will mention two sections here. One section is Section 33 and another section is 19(1). So both the sections would be mentioned in the assessment order, and he will assess it. So is it okay for you?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
Yes, sir.
It is understandable, I hope, to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is understandable to you, then we move to section 19(2). That is subsection 2 of section 19. What is said there? Where in any income year, SSC has made investments or is found to be the owner of any bullion, jewelry, or other valuable article, and the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes finds that the amount expended on making such investments or in acquiring such bullion, jewelry, or other valuable article exceeds the amount recorded in this behalf in the books of accounts maintained by the SSC or any source of income, and the SSC offers no explanation about the excess amount, or the explanation offered is not, in the opinion of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, satisfactory, the excess amount shall be deemed to be the income of the SSC or such income year classifiable under the head income from other sources. So here, what you find is that if the SSC is owner, he is the owner of any bullion, jewelry, or any valuable article. So the SSC has bought some bullion or any valuable article or any other asset, jewelry, maybe diamond, gold, platinum, whatever it is, or valuable stones, etc. So investment has been shown in the books of accounts, but the amount of investment that has been shown in the books of accounts of the SSC is not the proper reflection of the amount he actually spent. Meaning that, say for example, you have bought a diamond jewelry at 10 lakhs, but the SSC has shown it in his books of accounts. That means in the wealth statement or the statement of assets and liabilities at 5 lakh. So what is said here in this subsection, it is said that when the amount recorded in this behalf means the amount recorded with regard to the purchase of the valuable article or jewelry or bullion, whatever it is, the excess amount means the recorded amount is not the proper amount or is not the actual amount that the SSC has spent, and it has come to the notice of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. And then he asked for an explanation for the nature and source of the excess money. Since the SSC actually showed an amount that has been explained by him, but when there is an excess amount, then he has to give an explanation with regard to the nature and source of that money. But if the decedent cannot explain properly the source of that money, that is the source of the excess money that was spent by him in acquiring the asset or acquiring the valuable article. So in that circumstances, the Deputy Commissioner would definitely ask him to explain it properly. If the assessee cannot explain it properly, in that case, the excess money would be treated as income from other source under section 33, read with section 19.2. 19.2 means subsection 2 of section 19. So this is not very cumbersome for you, but rather understandable, I believe. Is it okay? Any question with regard to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then let us move to section subsection 3, where in any income year the assessee has incurred any expenditure and he offers no explanation about the nature and source of money for such expenditure, or the explanation offered is not, in the opinion of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, satisfactory, the amount of the expenditure shall be deemed to be the income of the assessee for such income year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. This is with relation to expenditure incurred by the assessee for any income year. It could be any expenditure, but it has been incurred by the assessee, and the assessee, while asked for explanation, has not been able to give a proper explanation with regard to the nature and source of that money. But here, one thing you must remember, that this is an expenditure, not an investment. So if it is an investment, then it is something different. It means that it could be some asset wherein the assessee has made an investment. But here it has been said that this is expenditure. Expenditure means the money has been spent for any purpose, say for example, livelihood, or for any occasion, maybe the marriage ceremony, etc., etc., something like that. So that is treated as, expenditure. So let us suppose that the assessee made an expenditure of 20 lakhs on the occasion of the marriage ceremony of his son. So he hosted a reception, and in the reception, he just expended 20 lakhs by asking the guests to be there for attending the function. So that was a celebration, and that money has been spent by the assessee from his own fund. It is very much supposed to be. But if the assessee cannot explain the source of that expenditure, that means what amount he has already spent in celebrating the marriage ceremony, he cannot explain it properly. If it is so, then the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would not accept that expenditure to be from his own fund, or from his legal fund, or from the income he has earned during the income year from any source. So in that circumstance, this amount would be treated as income from other sources under section 33, read with section 19.3. So here the assessee can say that, okay, I spent this amount out of my business income, which I withdraw from the business. Then the DCT will verify whether the withdrawal has been made in the books of accounts. That means from the balance sheet, whether he has withdrawn that money. How to withdraw that money? The capital has been shown at taka, say for example, 1 crore, and net profit has been added to that. And afterwards, withdrawal has been made. That is from the capital and profit, he has withdrawn a certain amount of money. And if the withdrawal actually covers the expenditure that he has incurred on the occasion of the marriage ceremony of his son, in that case, it will be accepted. But here also, the DCT will consider other expenditures incurred by him. Other expenditures means the livelihood expenditure of the associate, the conveyance expenditure, accommodation expenditure, if there is any, medical expenditure. So there are different heads of expenditure. So if the withdrawal actually covers all the expenditure, including this expenditure, which is spent on the occasion of the marriage ceremony of his son, in that case, that amount would be accepted. Otherwise, that amount would be added back to the income of the associate, meaning that income under section 33 would be made by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. So that will be the scenario of section 19.3. Okay, then we move to section 19.4. What is said in section 19.4? Where in the financial year immediately preceding the assessment year, the SSC has made investment which are not recorded in the books of accounts, if any, maintained by him for any source of income, and the SSC offers no explanation as to the nature and source thereof. For the investment, or the explanation offered is not, in the opinion of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, satisfactory, the value of the investments shall be deemed to be the income of the SSC for such financial year classifiable under the head income from other sources. So you have to see the difference between two subsections, subsection 2 and subsection 4. You have to see the difference. In subsection 2, the SSC has made an investment and amount is recorded in the books of accounts. But as per DCT's version, the recorded amount is not the proper reflection of the investment he has made. But here in subsection 4 of section 19, the SSC has made an investment, but it is not at all recorded in the books of accounts. So if it is not recorded in the books of accounts, it means that the SSC tried to escape it, tried to hide it. And that's why the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would ask for an explanation for the whole amount of the investment. Whole amount of the investment means, let us suppose that the SSC has invested in buying a flat or an apartment in Dhaka city. So the price of the flat, that has to be determined by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes first. Depends on the location of the flat or apartment. So if the DCT finds out that the value of the flat should be 1 crore taka, then he will ask for an explanation for that amount of money, that is 1 crore. And if the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes cannot explain it properly, in that case, the full amount, that is taka 1 crore, would be added to the income of the SSC. Since the income of the SSC was determined by the DCT for a particular source of income, but here it is found out later on, as the SSC did not show it in the wealth statement or in the statement of assets and liabilities, in that circumstances, this will be treated as income from other source under section 33. So this is not income from business or profession. Rather conceal it. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Then we move to section, subsection 5. Subsection 5 says where in the financial year immediately preceding the assessment year, the assessee is found to be the owner of any money, bullion, jewelry, or other valuable article which is not recorded in the books of accounts, if any, maintained by him for any source of income. And the assessee offers no explanation about the nature and source of fund for the acquisition of the money, bullion, jewelry, or other valuable article. Or the explanation offered is not, in the opinion of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, satisfactory. The money or the value of bullion, jewelry, or other valuable article shall be deemed to be the income of the assessee for such financial year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. So here also, we have said about the owner, assessee being the owner of any bullion, jewelry, or other valuable article. We said it in subsection 2, but here in this subsection, we are saying that the assessee is the owner of money, bullion, jewelry, valuable article, etc. But it is not recorded in the books of the accounts. That means the assessee did not show it, although he owns some jewelry or bullion. How can it happen? It can happen in the way that the assessee has been found to have another bank account apart from the bank account he has shown in the income tax return. So in the income tax return, the assessee has shown a bank account, and he said that all the sources of my income or all the proceeds from my sale of goods are deposited into that account. But the DCT, acting on information, he has found out that the assessee has got another bank account with another bank. That means he maintains a bank account with another bank, which is not reflected in the books of accounts. So whatever amount has been deposited into that bank, the DCT will definitely ask for an explanation. Or if the DCT finds that the assessee is the owner of bullion, or assessee is the owner of 100 carats of diamond, which is found in his house, or which has been found in the vault maintained to the bank. So in that case, he can ask for the explanation as to the source of acquiring that diamond, 100 carats of diamond. Now the assessee has to explain to the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes as to the source of the fund with which he bought that diamond, or with which he bought the bullion. So if he cannot explain the source of the money, the DCT will definitely add that income to his total income calculated by him as income from other source under section 33, read with section 19.5. So that is the explanation. Okay. Then let us move to section 19.6. In 19.6, it has been said that any income derived by the assessee in any income year hereinafter in this subsection referred to as the said income year from any business or profession which has been or was discontinued at any time before the commencement or during the course of the said income year shall, if such income would have been chargeable to tax, if it be deemed to be income chargeable to tax from such business or profession, which shall, for the purposes of this ordinance, be deemed to have been carried on before the commencement or during the course of the said income year. What is said here is that the SSC might have income from business or from profession, but before the commencement of the income year or during the course of the income year, the business was discontinued or the profession was discontinued by the SSC. But still then, such income would be assessed by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, thinking that the income would have been continued for the whole year, or the income would have been chargeable because there might be business for 6 months. However, the income could have been chargeable to tax because of the volume of the business or because of the amount or quantum of income that the SSC had earned in the income year. However, here the most important thing for you to know is that whenever the business is discontinued, that means the client can come to you in order to seek your advice. What the client can ask you? The client can ask you that I have decided to discontinue my business from the, say for example, month of December of this year. So this is the half of the income year. And if I discontinue with this business, what would happen to me while submitting the return to the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes? Because he has to submit the return after the end of the income year. And in that income year, as he did not do business for the whole year, the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would assess in income for the whole year, because the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes does not know that the SSC had stopped his business or discontinued his business for 6 months. So he can seek your advice what to do. And what will you advise him? Tell me from your common sense, what did you advise him? What the SSC should do? You are a practicing chartered accountant and he has come to your firm in order to seek your advice. Now we have to give him advice. Tell me. So your client is very precious to you, of course, because how much you need. The client should be properly advised by you. What should be the advice? Whenever the SSC or the client approaches you for your advice, you must tell him that, okay, if you want to discontinue with your business, write a letter to the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes saying that I have decided to discontinue my business from the first day of December this year. And while assessing my income for the next assessment year, please take it into consideration. And now it is the obligation of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes to assess your situation. That means to verify your claim, whether you have said the truth or not. So what he will do? You will put it in your file and he will ask his Inspector of Taxes to go to the place of business of the SSC in order to find out whether the business has actually been closed or not. So if the Inspector of Taxes goes to the place of business of the SSC and finds out that yes, the business has been stopped or discontinued, Then he will ask the people around the business house also take their evidences, that means their statements, and then he will make a report to the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. And in the report, he will mention that the SSC has closed down his business. I have visited the place of business in person and have asked people around the business house with regard to the closure of the business. So people have said to me about the closure of the business, and it is because of his problems inside the family or his problem with regard to the scarcity of capital. He cannot continue his business because of the scarcity of capital. So it might be any reason, not only one reason, but I am just giving you some examples. So such a report would be placed before the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes by the Inspector of Taxes. So who is an Inspector of Taxes? Do you have an idea about the position of an Inspector of Taxes?
Lowest position.
Last position, yes, sir. Last position.
Yeah, lowest position means you should say the lowest authority of the income tax department. He is an authority, of course, but he is the lowest authority. So he has got some power, because when he makes a report to the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, he will take that report into account. So that's why the DCT will consider or record the facts of the report made by the Inspector of Taxes, and while assessing the income of the SSC next year, that is in the assessment year, he will take it into account. That means the business was continued for 6 months only, not for the whole year, and that way he will make the assessment. So the total income to be determined by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would be half the amount of the income he calculated in the previous year normally. So that is the advice you have to provide to the client, that means to the SSC. Okay.
স্যার এক্ষেত্রে তাইলে এসএসসি একবার অ্যাপ্লিকেশন করবে, আমার কাছে যখন একজন অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টের কাছে যখন আসবে, অ্যাকাউন্টেন্ট বলবে ডিসিটি আন্ডার একটা লেটার করবে।
Yes.
আমি যখন করব, তার অ্যাকাউন্টটা যখন আমি ট্যাক্স ক্যালকুলেশন করব, তখন ওই কথাটা উল্লেখ করে দিতে হবে।
Yes, of course, because the business would be for 6 months only. So whenever you will verify his accounts or you will make an audit report, so definitely you will find out that the business was for 6 months only, not for the whole year. So that's why you will also mention it, and you will advise accordingly that the SSC should write a letter to the DCT. You can draft the letter on behalf of the SSC, and the SSC will put his signature on the letter. And when you submit the letter, it is the obligation of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes that he has to verify it. But if you do not submit the letter, then the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would calculate the income for the whole year. In that case, you cannot say anything against the assessment made by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. It is really difficult for you to do. So it is always better, and it is always lawful that you write a letter, and then the DCT will be obligated to verify it. Okay.
Thank you.
And then let us come to subsection 7 of section 19. So here it is said, any dividend declared or distributed by a company shall be deemed to be the income of the income year in which it is received and shall be included in the total income of the SSC of that year. So any dividend declared or distributed would be treated as income or would be included in the income when in the income year in which it is received by the SSC. This is the most important part of this subsection. What is the most important part of this subsection is that the income, that means the dividend, is to be received by the SSC. When it is received by the SSC, that means when the SSC receives it in the income year, then it becomes an income of the income year. But if it is not received by him, then it is not his income. So when dividend is declared in the annual general meeting of the company. So mere declaration of dividend is not the income of the SSC. Income of the SSC means income of the shareholder. So dividend is actually given to the shareholders. So shareholders actually hear about the percentage of dividend. That means they are present in the annual general meeting, and the meeting decides about the declaration of the dividend. But until and unless the dividend is received by the SSC, it does not become part of his income. So the most important part here, you remember that when the dividend is received by the SSC, it will be the income of the income year in which it is received by him. That is the thing. So sometimes the legal provision was that when the dividend was declared by the company, it was treated as dividend and income of the SSC. But as per present provision of the income tax ordinance, it is not the dividend or income of dividend to the SSC unless it is received by him. So here is the proper provision, you should remember.
তাহলে এখানে ডিক্লারেশনের বিষয়টা আসবে না।
Declaration is okay because when annual general meeting takes place, declaration is there. That is, the AGM declares that 10%, 15%, or 20% dividend will be paid to the shareholders. That means on the face value of the shares, 20% dividend would be given to them. It is declaration. But declaration does not mean that the shareholders have already got the income, dividend income. So whenever they receive the income, that means they have to receive a dividend warrant. And when they receive dividend warrant, they deposit the dividend warrant into his or her bank account, and it is encashed. That means it is transferred from the company's account to the shareholder's account. In that case, it is dividend, and it is the dividend income of the shareholder, and it will be included in the total income of the SSC, calculated by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes or determined by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. So that is the provision here.
স্যার ডিভিডেন্ড কোন হেডে যাবে?
Dividend will be assessed under section 33. That means income from other source. So you have got so many sources. You know that you have got income
Yes,
from
sir.
salaries. You have got income from interest on securities. You have got income from house property, income from agriculture, income from business. You have got income from
Profession.
capital gain, and another head is there which is called income from other source. So dividend will definitely go under section 33. That means income from other sources. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Then come to section 19.8. That means subsection 8 of section 19. What is said here? Where any asset not being stock in trade are purchased by an SSC from any company, and the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes has reason to believe that the price paid by the SSC is less than the fair market value thereof. The difference between the price so paid and the fair market value shall be deemed to be the income of the SSC, classifiable under the head income from other sources. So what is said here, you are an SSC, say for example, you are doing business and you have bought an asset from a company, but that is not stock in trade. That means this is not stock. You have bought other asset. Say for example, plant or machinery or furniture, whatever it is, you have bought them from a company, and you have said that I paid an amount of taka 2 lakhs for buying that plant from the company XYZ. But if the DCT knows that, or some information comes to him that the plant was actually not worth taka 2 lakh, rather this is worth taka 3 lakh, or this is worth taka 4 lakh as per the market price. So if it comes to the information of the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, then what will he do? That has been said here. The fair market value of that plant and the price, whatever has been paid by the SSC, he will find out the difference between the two. And that difference amount would be added to the income of the SSC. As I said to you, that the plant was purchased at taka 2 lakh by the SSC, but the fair market value of that plant is taka 4 lakh. So the difference amount is taka 2 lakh. So the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would add this 2 lakh taka, that is the difference money, to the income of the SSC. And he will do it under section 33, that means income from other source. And in the assessment order, the DCT will mention it, that this excess amount means the amount of difference between the fair market value and the price paid by the SSC has been added to the income of the SSC. And this is income from other source under section 33, read with section 19.8. Is it okay for you up to now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then come to the next subsection, 19.9. There is subsection 9 of section 19. Where any lump sum amount is received or receivable by an SSC during an income year on account of salami or premium by virtue of any lease, such amount shall be deemed to be the income of the SSC for the income year in which it is received and classifiable under the head income from other sources, provided that at the option of the SSC, such amount may be allocated for the purpose of assessment proportionately to the years covered by the entire lease period. But such allocation shall in no case exceed 5 years. You understood it, or you have got some sort of confusion?
সালামি বলতে কোনো দোকান বা কোনো অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট নেওয়ার সময় যে অগ্রিম বা অ্যাডভান্সটা দেয় ওটাই বোঝাচ্ছে, তাই?
Advance is not salami money or premium money. No. Advance is advance because, say for example, I have got an apartment somewhere in Dhaka city and I have let it out for an amount of 50,000 per month. So that is the rental value or the rent I am receiving from the tenant. I can ask him, okay, I am in need of money, so you please give me advance for 6 months rent, equivalent to 6 months rent. So equivalent to 6 months rent is taka 3 lakh, and I can take it as an advance money, which will be adjusted against the rent he will pay me. So I can also come to an agreement with him that taka 20,000 will be adjusted against the rent every month. So actual rental value is taka 50,000 per month. However, I am adjusting only 20,000 taka per month. It means that the adjustment is being made, and sometime it will be fully adjusted. But I received that amount because I had some other reasons to utilize the money. I wanted to utilize that money for some purposes. And that's why I took it at a time. So that is advance money. So it is not actually salami or premium money. Salami money or premium money is different. And let us suppose you have a shop. You have a shop in the Nurjahan market, near New Market or near Gausia market. So you have rented it out to somebody, and the rental value per month is taka 40,000, for example. So that is the agreement you are reaching. And the agreement is for a period of 6 years. That he will pay you taka 40,000 each month as the rental value of that shop. However, after 2 years, the rental value would be increased by an amount of by 10%, say for example, by 10%. That means 4,000 taka would be added to the rental value. That means it will be 44,000 taka after 2 years. This is the agreement you have reached with him. And at the time of signing the agreement or the lease, he paid you taka 20 lakhs as salami money. And what it is for? It is for the space you will be using. It is for the possession he has received from you. That means you have given possession of your shop to that gentleman. So it's the value of the possession you are receiving from him. So that has been said here, the salami money or the premium money, which you have received from the tenant, amounting to taka 20 lakhs. So what would be the treatment of that taka 20 lakh? That's the question. And it has been said here that the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would treat this income as income from other source. Since you have received the amount of taka 20 lakhs in 1 year means at a time. So the year in which you received it, that would be treated as income of that year. And it would be treated as an income under Section 33. But you have got an option. What is the option? The option is that you can request the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, or you can just make an application to the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes saying that this amount of salami money should be proportionately distributed throughout the entire lease period. That means your lease period is for 6 years, and taka 20 lakhs would be distributed proportionately throughout the whole period, that is 6 years. So you divide 20 lakhs by 6, and you will get 3 lakhs plus. That has to be treated as income along with other incomes, that is along with your house property income every year. It means that taka 3 lakhs plus would be added to your profit as income from other source, not 20 lakhs. But condition is here also, there is a restriction. The restriction is that you can ask the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes to allocate that amount over a period of 5 years maximum, meaning that this 20 lakh taka could be distributed throughout 5 years, not more than that. Although your agreement was for a period of 6 years, but that amount could not be allocated beyond 5-year period. So within 5 years' time, this 20 lakh taka has to be proportionately allocated to your income. That is 4 lakh taka every year. In the first year, 4 lakh taka would be added to your total income under section 33. Second year, 4 lakh. Third year, 4 lakh. Fourth year and fifth year, also 4 lakh. So in total, the full amount of money that you received from the tenant would be assessed to tax by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. So that is the provision, and you have to remember that the salami money is in addition to the rental value of the property, and this by the SSC would be distributed or could be allocated over the period of lease, but it will not exceed 5 years. So what is the benefit? If it is taxed in 1 year, 20 lakhs taka, and if it is taxed in 5 years, 4 lakh taka each year, what is the benefit for the SSC? Is there any benefit for the SSC? Tell me.
Yes, sir. The tax will be less, sir.
Flat rate কম হবে।
Tax will be less and the burden will be less. And another benefit, tell me as a chartered accountant. If you can tell me that benefit, then I will consider that you are a very good chartered accountant, or you will become a very good chartered.
SSC can use the whole money for investment purpose or other something.
What is that? Just give me an example, please.
SSC তো স্যার একসাথে 20 লাখ টাকা পেয়ে গেল। এই 20 লাখ
Yes.
টাকা সে কোনো একটা ইনভেস্টমেন্ট পারপাসে ইউজ করলো, প্রফিটেবল ইনভেস্টমেন্টে। তো কিন্তু সে বেনিফিটটা যেহেতু একসাথে তার ট্যাক্সটা দিতে হচ্ছে না, 20 লাখ টাকা একসাথে পাই গেছে, কিন্তু তার 20 লাখ টাকা একসাথে ট্যাক্স দিতে হচ্ছে না, সে 5 বছর এটাকে ক্যারি করতে পারবে।
Yes. Then what is the benefit? I'm asking you the benefit. You have said to me that, okay, he does not have to pay tax for the full amount of taka 20 lakhs. Rather, he will be paying taxes on a lesser amount. That is true. But how you can explain it? Explain it means how you can say in one language. Say, for example, 20 lakhs taka has been taxed in 1 year. So maybe 25%, or let us suppose 20%. would be the tax rate on that amount. So if it is 20%, the tax would have been 4 lakh taka. But he is actually paying tax on 4 lakh taka because it has been distributed over the 5-year period. So on 4 lakh taka, maybe his tax will be 10%. Say, for example, this is example, of course. So if it is 10%, it would be 40,000 taka. So there is a time value of money.
Yes, sir.
There is a time value of money. So the answer is time value of money. You have paid only 40,000 taka in place of 4 lakh taka. So 4 lakh taka would also be invested. And the time value of 4 lakh taka is of course different from the time value of 40,000 taka. So we should answer that the time value of money would be the consideration of the SSC. That is the answer from a chartered accountant, of course. Investment is there, of course, the SSC will invest. That is very common.
ইনভেস্টমেন্টের সাথে তো টাইম ভ্যালু স্যার অ্যাডজাস্ট করে টাইম ভ্যালু ছাড়া তো স্যার ইনভেস্টমেন্ট হবে না টাইম ভ্যালু কনসিডার করে সবকিছু কনসিডার করে প্রফিট কনসিডার করে ইন্টারেস্ট কনসিডার করে সবকিছু কনসিডার করে একটা ইনভেস্টমেন্ট করা হয়
Yes, so the major consideration is the time value of money. So whenever you are calculating the NPV, the net present value, so what you are calculating, what you are considering? You are considering the time value of money. Because getting taka 1 today and getting taka 1 after 5 years is not the same. So there is a discount factor there. There is inflation there. So all these are to be considered at the time of investment, whatever it is. Okay, so
স্যার এখানে কি এই যে সেলামের ব্যাপারে একটু অন্যরকম একটা কনসেপ্ট পাইছিলাম এটা হচ্ছে যদি এসএসসি তার রেন্টাল ইয়াতে যে পেমেন্ট দেয় মান্থলি পেমেন্ট ওই পেমেন্টের মধ্যে যদি ওই স্যালামিটা যদি অ্যাডজাস্ট করে কোনো রকম সেটা কম হোক বেশি হোক তাহলে ওই অ্যাডজাস্টেড অ্যামাউন্টের কারণে তার ওই স্যালামির উপর ট্যাক্স হবে না 5 বছর পর্যন্ত যদি সে অ্যাডজাস্ট করে 5 বছরের মধ্যে পুরো কনজিউম করতে না পারে পুরো অ্যাডজাস্ট করতে না পারে তাহলে রেস্ট অফ দ্য অ্যামাউন্টের উপর ট্যাক্স দিতে হবে এটা কি স্যার ঠিক আছে না
is the provision says like that? I have read out the provision to you. So it said here? You tell me whether it is said here or not.
জি স্যার এখানে বলছি স্যার নট এক্সিডিং 5 ইয়ার এখানে বলা হয়েছে বাট এখানে 20 লাখ টাকাকে আপনি 4 লাখ টাকা করে যে অ্যাডজাস্ট করার কথা বলছিলেন ওটার কথা বলতেছি স্যার
Okay. What I said, you should have listened to it carefully. I have said that whenever a salami money is received by the SSC, so salami money is received from the tenant. Tenant means to whom the shop has been rented out. So 20 lakhs taka he received, which is salami money. I told you this is salami money or premium money. But his rental value is different, totally different, because that is the monthly rent he is receiving from the tenant. So the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes will assess the annual value of the property on the basis of the rental value under Section 24. That is the income from house property. But here, what the SSC has received as the salami money, that is not part of the rental value of the property. What I have said is that this salami money would be treated as income of the SSC from other source. 20 lakhs taka would be assessed in the income year in which the salami money was received by the SSC. So the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes may include the full amount of taka 20 lakhs in the total income of the SSC calculated by him in the income year. That means for the relevant assessment year. But there is an option. What is the option? The option is that you can ask the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes, as per this provision, as per this subsection, that you please allocate the amount of taka 20 lakhs over the period of lease. So what is your lease period? As I said to you before, that your lease period is for 6 years. But here the subsection says that this amount cannot be allocated proportionately beyond 5 years. So your limitation is 5 years only. Within 5 years' time, this has to be allocated. Allocated means the 20 lakhs taka which you receive would be divided into 5 installments. Each year, you have to pay tax on taka 4 lakh. Up to 5 years, you have to continue with that. That means 4 lakh taka would be added to your income as income from other source, not as income from your house property under section 24. No. So you can adjust it. Adjust it means you are given the option to be allocated over the 5-year period. It does not mean that you don't have to pay tax on that. Is it clear to you or not?
Yes, sir.
প্রপার্টির অংশ না, প্রপার্টির অংশ না, এটা এই সালামিটা।
Salami is not part of the rental income. So different from rental income. So sections are different. Section 24 and section 33. So different sections. Is it okay? There is no question that you don't have to pay taxes on that amount. You have to pay taxes, but you can pay taxes in 1 year or you can pay taxes over the 5-year period. That's the option you have. If you want to pay taxes in 1 year, yes, you can pay taxes in 1 year, no problem. But you can avail of the opportunity that you can pay taxes every year on taka 4 lakh only. But you have to pay taxes.
একজন অ্যাকাউন্টেন্ট হিসেবে একজন এসএসসি যদি এই ধরনের কেস নিয়ে আসে, তাহলে অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টের কোনটা করা উচিত হবে? এটা কি এসএসসির ফেভারে করা হবে না গভর্নমেন্টের ফেভারে অ্যাসেস করবে?
What do you think? What do you think?
এসএসসি যেহেতু ক্লায়েন্ট, তাহলে ক্লায়েন্টের ফেভারে করাটা বেটার হবে।
Why SSC has come to you? SSC has come to you to receive proper advice from you. If you do not give him proper advice, then it is not the function of the chartered accountant to behave like that. Rohim bolo. Asif bolo. Thank you. So you are taking fee from the client or from the SSC. Client has come to you. to work on his behalf because he does not know income tax or he does not know the legal provisions of income tax. So that's why he has come to you. So it is your duty to advise the assessee properly so that he can get benefited. You should not work for the government because government has given the provision. Provision is there. You are not doing something unlawful. You understand? It's not illegal what you are doing. You are doing something which is according to the provision. Government has given the provision. So the assessee can avail of the provisions given under section 19. So you have to advise him accordingly. You cannot advise the client that you do not show your income. So that is different. This is unlawful. Should not advise like that. Rather, you should advise him to show everything, but he can take advantage of income tax law. If there is any provision for tax avoidance, yes, you can advise him on that issue, that you can take advantage of that. Tax avoidance and tax concealment or escaping tax, these two things are different. Avoidance is legal, but concealment is not legal. That is unlawful.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
স্যার সালামিটা কি পরে পেড করা হয় মানে পেড
There are different instances. Salami money sometimes paid off by the assessee, that means who receives it. Salami money is sometimes not paid. Say, for example, I have received the salami money from Mr. X. He paid me 20 lakhs taka because of the possession of the shop. And he has agreed to stay there for 6 years. That means there is a lease agreement. After 6 years, if he says that, okay, I will not continue with this business, so the lease agreement could be cancelled. In that case, another person would take the possession of the shop and he will also give a salami money. So if the salami money now 30 lakhs taka, so what would happen? 20 lakhs taka would be paid to the previous tenant and 10 lakhs taka would be received by the landlord. Or if it remains 20 lakhs, then the new tenant could be asked to pay off the salami money to the previous tenant. He pays off 20 lakhs taka to the previous tenant. So what happens? What is the consequence? The consequence is that whatever received by the landlord remains in his hand. He does not have to pay it off. But sometimes there is a condition that, okay, I will pay it off to you at the time of cancellation of the lease agreement. In that case, he will pay it off. But again, he will receive salami money from the new tenant. So the consequence is the same. Okay.
পেড
Sorry, I could not hear you.
সালামি পেড আপের ক্ষেত্রে যে সালামিটা পায় সেটা কি ইনকাম হিসেবে কাউন্ট করে আদার সোর্সে?
What I said here is that salami money, when received by you, would be treated as income from other source under section 33. It is said in this provision. But if you pay it off to the tenant who gave you that amount, then the receiver would not have the income. he would not be assessed to tax for that amount because he paid 5 years ago or 6 years ago. So when he paid it off or paid to the landlord, he explained the source of the money before the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. So if he receives it now, doesn't matter because he is receiving it, but he actually paid it from his own fund. So whenever he receives, no questions of income. Because the paid
Okay,
amount
sir.
is the paid amount is being received by him. So that is the thing. Okay, or confusion?
Okay, sir.
Okay, then move to 1910. Where any amount is received by the assessee during an income year by way of goodwill money or receipt in the nature of compensation or damages or cancellation or termination of contract and licenses by the government or any person, such amount shall be deemed to be the income of such assessee for that income year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. So what is said here is that you had a license and it has been cancelled by the government or by any other person, and because of that you got a compensation money from the government or from any person who gave you the license. Let us see what happens to the traders who are commission agents of the Trading Corporation of Bangladesh. The traders are the distributors of products or commodities supplied by the Trading Corporation of Bangladesh. They are in charge of one district or a number of districts. So by selling the products or commodities of the TCB, Trading Corporation of Bangladesh, they receive a commission. So they have got a license actually. And with the license, they are authorized to sell the commodities to the people. And if the Trading Corporation of Bangladesh, that is a government organ, cancels the license of a particular person, say for example, Mr. X, his license has been cancelled. However, the TCB pays him a compensation of Taka 10 lakhs for the cancellation of the license. So if there is a cancellation of the license, it means that he will incur a loss. Incur a loss means he will not be receiving commission from the Trading Corporation of Bangladesh, and he would not be able to sell the products supplied by the Trading Corporation of Bangladesh in those districts. That's why he has been given the compensation. And that compensation money which he received from the TCB would be treated as income from other source. And this is as per subsection 10 of section 19. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is okay, then we move to subsection 11. Where any benefit or advantage, whether convertible into money or not, is derived by an assessee during any income year on account of cancellation of indebtedness, the money value of such advantage or benefit shall be deemed to be his income for that income year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. And it also says that provided that the provisions of this subsection shall not apply in case of a loan or interest waived in respect of an SSC by a commercial bank, including Bangladesh Krishi Bank, Rajshahi Krishi Unnayan Bank, Bangladesh Development Bank Limited, or a leasing company, or a financial institution registered under Arthik Pratishthan Ain 1993. So what is said here? Whether any benefit or advantage, whether convertible into money or not, is derived by an SSC during the income year on account of cancellation of indebtedness. Cancellation of indebtedness means you are owing money to somebody and that person has said that, okay, you don't have to pay that amount off. You are exempted from making the payment of that money to me. So in the balance sheet, I used to show an amount of 10 lakhs, which is being owed to Mr. Y. So this is my liability, and I have to pay it off to him sometime in future. But Mr. Y says that, okay, you don't have to pay it off to me. So if Mr. Y says like that, I don't have to pay it off to him. So this is my benefit, of course, because the liability is not to be paid off by me. Hence, it is a benefit for me. So if it is a benefit for me, in that case, this will be treated as an income. So that will be an income under section 33, income from other source. But again, the law says that if the borrowed amount from the commercial bank or interest on the borrowed amount, sometimes we borrow amount from the bank, maybe from commercial bank, from agriculture bank, that is Krishi Bank, or Rajshahi Krishi Unnayan Bank, or Bangladesh Development Bank, or any non-banking financial institution which are authorized to deal with loans or borrowings. If they exempt me from payment of the borrowed capital or interest, this is called waiver. They waive the interest. So I don't have to pay the interest, rather I have to pay the borrowed capital only. So this is also exemption, that I don't have to pay the interest. This will not apply to that case. If I have any outstanding liability to the bank, commercial bank, including Bangladesh Krishi Bank, and they waive my interest, and that waived interest will not be treated as income in my case. But otherwise, it would be treated as income. As I said to you, that I owe an amount of 10 lakhs to Mr. Y, and Mr. Y has said that you don't have to pay off the amount to me anymore. So in that case, this is my income, and it will be taxed. But whenever I borrow some amount of money from the commercial bank and the interest thereon is waived by the bank, that waived amount will not be treated as income from other source. So that is the difference. And another provision here provided further that the provisions of this subsection shall not apply in case of a benefit or advantage of an SSC being an individual not exceeding 10 lakh, resulting from the waiver of margin loan or interest thereof by a holder of trading right entitlement certificate as defined under Exchanges Demutualization Ain 2013. In respect of the SSC's investment in shares, debentures, mutual funds, or securities transacted in the stock exchange, So this provision is not very common, but here it has been said that you have got an arrangement with a broker or dealers in securities, and you are taking margin loan from that security and you are doing business. So they are purchasing shares on your behalf, they are selling of shares, and there always arises a margin or there might be a loss, of course. But it has been said that whenever an amount not exceeding 10 lakh resulting from the waiver of margin loan takes place, then it will not be treated as income in your case. So it is an exemption up to that amount. But if it is more than 10 lakhs taka, the rest amount would be treated as your income. So this is just an exception. And in general, I believe you have understood that whenever indebtedness is cancelled, and that would be treated as your income. This is the simple theory of this subsection. You have to remember that, but you will always remember that that the borrowing from the bank or financial institutions authorized, whenever there is a waiver or there is an exemption, that will not be treated as your income under the income tax assessment to be made by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. Do you like to have a break? If you need a break, I can give you a break for some time. If not, then I can continue.
স্যার আপনার টায়ার্ড লাগলে রেস্ট নিতে পারেন অল্প সময়।
Sorry?
স্যার আপনার টায়ার্ড লাগলে অল্প সময়ের জন্য রেস্ট নিতে পারেন।
It's not a case of tiring in my case. If you need any break, you can tell me. If not, then I can continue. Okay, then move to section 1912. Any managing agency commission, including compensation received during any income year by an SSC for termination of agencies or any modification of the terms and conditions relating thereto shall be deemed to be his income for that income year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. So when you are a managing agent on behalf of a company and you have got an agreement with the company, that means for the agency, there is an agreement with regard to the agency. You are working like an agent on behalf of the company. Let us suppose the company is Magna Group or City Group or Boshundara Group, etc., etc. So you are an agent and there is an agency which has been allowed to you or which has been issued to you. And now the agency, it is getting terminated or it is modified. So if it is terminated or if it is getting modified and the modification does not go in your favor, it means that you are losing the business. The commission that you will be receiving now would be less than what you got actually in the past. So that would be treated in case of compensation money as your income. So that company can say that, okay, I terminate your agentship or agency, and for that reason, I am paying you a compensation of 10 lakhs. So in that case, the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes would treat this compensation as the income, and it should be income from other source. Or sometimes another thing might happen, that is the conditions have been modified. Conditions have been modified, but the conditions have not gone in your favor. Rather, all those have gone against you. So in that case, you have lost your business. Maybe your income is decreased. And in that case, he also offered, that means the company representative or the managing director of the company has offered you compensation money. He will say that, okay, since your agency or agency commission would be less than the previous time, in that case, I pay you 5 lakhs as a compensation. So this kind of compensation, whenever received by you from the company, would be treated as income from other source under section 33. So that is what is said here. So it is not very difficult to understand, rather you can easily understand it. Then come to the next point, next subsection, which is 1914. Any amount received by the SSC, crossword puzzles, cards, and other games of any sort, or from gambling or betting in any form or of any nature whatsoever, shall be deemed to be his income for that income year, classifiable under the head income from other sources. So this is also income from other source, that means under section 33. But what are the activities, the transactions, etc., that is mentioned here? You have won a lottery. If you win a lottery from any company or from any government authority, corporate sector, whatever it is, so this winning would definitely be treated as your income. If you have gone to the casino, sometimes people go to casino. In Bangladesh, we don't have casino, but in other countries, they have got casinos to visit. And if you win some money by going to the casino or by playing, that is also your income. But if you receive something from gambling or by betting, betting means if you just bet with your friend or with somebody else that the Sri Lankan team will win this match, but your friend says that no, Sri Lankan team would not win the match, rather Bangladesh will win the match. So there is a betting. And you can say that, okay, if Sri Lanka wins, then you have to pay me 5 lakhs. And if Bangladesh team wins, I will pay you 5 lakhs. So either of the two will win. If you win, then you are to get 5 lakhs from your friend. And that is also your income. So if such an income arises from the betting, in that case, it will be treated as your income from other source. And any sort of gambling could be there, any sort of crossword puzzles could be there, whatever it is, lottery could be there. So whatever you gain out of those activities, the income would be treated as income from other source under section 33. So that's what has been said here. Okay, then you proceed to 1914, subsection 14 of section 19. Any profits or gains derived in any income year from any business of insurance carried on by a mutual insurance association, computed in accordance with the provisions of paragraph 8 of the 4th schedule, shall be deemed to be the income of such association for that income year. This is not very common here. So only income from an association, and the association is for the insurance business carried on by a mutual insurance association. So this is an association where there are members, maybe a few members or a good number of members are there, and by virtue of their business, they are getting some profit, and which is actually computed. The income of that association is computed as per paragraph 8 of the 4th schedule, which is you will see in the appendix here, and that should be treated as income from association for that income year. Whatever income is derived and whatever income is calculated as per paragraph 8 of the 4th schedule of this ordinance, then that income is to be treated under this subsection, that is subsection 14 of section 19. So generally you will not find this kind of questions in the examinations. Rather, you can have a look at it. That is the paragraph 8 of 4th schedule. You just read it and you will be able to understand how income from such an association is calculated. Okay, then for the next one is important for you, 1915. This is very important, you should remember. Where for the purpose of computation of income of an assessee under section 28. Under section 28 means calculation of income from business. Any deduction has been made for any year in respect of any loss, bad debt, or expenditure or trading liability incurred by the assessee. And subsequently, during any income year, the assessee has received, except as provided in clause AA, whether in cash or in any other manner whatsoever, any amount in respect of such loss, bad debt, or expenditure, the amount so received shall be deemed to be his income from business or profession during that income year. So what is said here, you will understand from your practical experience. Whenever you prepare the trading account and profit and loss account, etc. of the business, sometimes you will find that there is bad debt. Sometimes you will see provision for bad debt, and again, after some time, you'll see that the provision has been converted into bad debt because there is no chance that you can receive or recover that amount of money. If it is so, then it is a loss. Bad debt is a loss, and it is accepted by the accounting system or accepted by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes while calculating the income. So if it is accepted by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes while calculating income for the income year, it is your benefit. It is your benefit means the loss has been accepted by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. Since loss has been accepted by him, your tax would be less because your profit would be less and hence tax would be less. However, if some years later, whatever amounts it has bad debt and whatever amount was treated as an allowable expenditure under section 29 of the Income Tax Ordinance 1984. So if it was treated as an allowable expenditure under section 29, you got the benefit because you did not pay tax on that amount. But now again you are getting back that money from the concerned person. Since you are getting back that money from the concerned person, now this will be treated as your income. So that is what has been said here. So simple to remember that bad debt or any loss, whenever received in subsequent years, would be treated as income, and that would be treated as income from business, not from other source, rather income from business under section 28. So that is the most important thing for you to remember. Again, clause AA, in this clause, it has been said that such amount on account of any interest which was to have been paid to any commercial bank or the Bangladesh Development Bank Limited, or on account of any share of profit which was to have been paid to any bank run on Islamic principles and which was allowed as a deduction in respect of such expenditure, though such interest or share of profit was not paid by reason of the SSC having maintained his accounts on mercantile basis within 3 years after the expiry of the income year in which it was allowed, shall, to such extent as it remains unpaid, be deemed to be income of the SSC from business or profession during the income year immediately following the expiry of the said 3 years. Although this clause is a little bit lengthy, but if you understand, it is not complex. What is said here is that you have got two systems of accounting. One is cash system of accounting, another is mercantile system of accounting. What you call accrual basis of accounting. What is accrual basis of accounting? Any idea about that?
When a transaction occurs, it will be recorded, whether it is cash or not cash.
It means that you will receive the amount, or you may not receive the amount, but it is receivable. So if the income is receivable by you, it would be treated as an income. So is the case with expenditure. Whether you have paid the expenditure in cash or not, it is an expenditure. That is, it is payable by you. So whenever you take loan from the bank, interest accrues thereon. And if you pay off the interest, it is paid. This is expenditure, of course. But if you do not pay off the interest, it is also to be paid by you, which is payable. So that expenditure, whatever you haven't paid off, still you can charge it in the profit and loss account. So if the expenditure which you have not paid off, but you have charged in the profit and loss account by virtue of the mercantile system of accounting you are following, the profit would be calculated, and on the profit, tax would be imposed. Although you haven't paid off the expenditure, rather it will be accepted by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes as the system allows it. Mercantile system or the accrual system of accounting allows it. So that's why it is accepted by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. So it is said here that whenever such an expenditure has been allowed under Section 29, so with an example, we can cite it. The example is that you have taken loan from the bank, commercial bank, and interest has accrued for the income year at taka 5 lakhs. So it has been charged in the profit and loss account, and it has been accepted by the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes. Now, what is your obligation? Your obligation is that you have to pay it off to the bank within 3 years' time from the end of the year in which it was accepted or in which it was charged in the profit and loss account. So if you have charged it in the profit and loss account for the income year 2021, so income year 2021 is that 30th day of June 2021 is the last day of the income year. And the assessment year is 21-22. So from the end of the 30th day of June 2021, you have got 3 years' time in your hand to pay it off. The 5 lakh taka that you have to pay off to the bank within 3 years from the end of the 30th day of June 2021. That means 22, 23, 24. By the 30th day of June 2024, you have to pay it off. If you do not pay it off, then the following income year. That means the income year starting from July 2024 and ending on 30th day of June 2025, in that income year, that 5 lakh taka would be treated as your income under Section 28. That means this will be treated as an income under Section 28, since you haven't paid it off. So I think you don't have any confusion with that.
Sir, that means, sir, যে কোনো এক্সপেন্স যদি এটা পেয়েবল হয়, অ্যাক্রুয়াল হয়, তাহলে এটা যদি আমি 3 বছরের মধ্যে যদি পেমেন্ট না করি, তাহলে 3 বছর পর সেটা আমার ইনকাম হিসেবে গণ্য হবে।
Yes. Yes. That is the provision. So it's a binding on your part to pay off the liability. There is trading liability or whatever liability you are showing in the balance sheet, payable to so-and-so, payable to Mr. X, payable to the bank, payable to any other non-banking financial institutions, etc., etc. So the provision, same provision applies.
সেকশন 29 বলে কি বলছিলেন? সেকশন 29?
Section 29 is the section under which any expenditure is allowed. So whenever an expenditure has been allowed under Section 29 and you have received that benefit, but you haven't paid it off, in that case, this is your income in the following income. So here, you should remember this is clause AA. Clause AA says about the interest. So no other expense has been mentioned here. Whatever I have said now is related to expense. That means interest expense, no other expense. It is not with regard to salaries. It is not with regard to rent, nothing. But this is with regard to the interest expense. And it is specifically mentioned that any interest which was to have been paid to any commercial bank or the Bangladesh Development Bank or on account of any share of profit which was to have been paid to any bank run on Islamic principles. It means that Islamic banks, they say that this is not interest. They say that this is share of profit or the service charges, whatever it is. So if it is run on Islamic principles, it means that they are also charging some service charge, or they are also saying that this is share of profit. So in that case, it will apply to that bank as well. So interest to commercial bank or share of profit to Islamic bank, the similar thing. And it applies to all other banks like this for interest expense. Then if you move to clause B. Clause B says of the same section, 1915. The assessee has derived during any income year some benefit in respect of such trading liability. The value of such benefit, if it has not already been treated as income under clause C, shall be deemed to be his income from business or profession during the income year. It's the same thing, whatever we have discussed. That means in respect of trading liability, if you receive some benefit in respect of trading liability, definitely you will have to pay tax on that as income. So it will also be treated as income from business. Trading liability, you understand what is trading liability? Can you tell me what a trading liability is? So of course, sundry creditor is a trading liability because you are running a business and whatever goods you have sold to somebody, you can receive that amount from him, and whatever you have purchased from a particular person, you are liable to pay to him. So if you do not pay to him, in that case, he becomes your creditor. So there are different types of liabilities. You can say bills payable, you can say sundry creditors, you can say accounts payable, you can say any other term, whatever you want to use. Clause C here also says, this is important, remember, such trading liability or portion thereof as has not been paid within 3 years of the expiration of the income year, in which deduction was made in respect of that liability, such liability or portion, as the case may be, shall be deemed to be the income of the associate from business or profession during the income year immediately following the expiry of the said 3 years. It is also this in respect of interest accrued on the borrowed money. But here it has been said about the trading liability. So trading liability, as we have mentioned to you, is sundry creditors or bills payable or expenses, etc. So if such a trading liability, if you do not pay within 3 years, and after the expiry of the 3 years, this will be treated as your income. If you do not pay it fully, the full amount would be treated as your income. If you have not paid part of it, then the part amount would be treated as your income. So whatever it is, depends on the amount you have not paid off. So the 3-year condition is there, similar. And then it has been provided that where any interest or share or profit referred to in clause AA or a trading liability referred to in clause C is paid in a subsequent year, the amount so paid shall be deducted in computing the income in respect of that year. So you have been given provision of benefit. Provision of benefit is that when you have not paid off the liability, after 3 years, it will be treated as your income, but that would be treated as business income. But if you pay off that amount, that is pay off the liability in any subsequent income year, in that case, it would be treated as your deductible expenditure from your business, meaning that you can claim that expenditure as deductible under section 29. So you can also take that benefit. No problem with that. Law has given you that provision. So this section 1915 is important for you, and you have to remember it well. Next, 1916, subsection 16 of section 19. This is very important because there might be some questions on that, and there might be some technical questions, some calculations could be there. What is that here? Where any building, machinery, or plant having been used by an associate for the purpose of any business or profession carried on by him is disposed of during any income year, and the sale proceeds thereof exceed the written down value so much of the excess as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value shall be deemed to be the income of the associate for that income year, classifiable under the head income from business or profession. You have got an understanding? Any
Sir.
plan? Yes, tell me.
কোন একটা অ্যাসেট যদি আমার ক্রয় মূল্য হয় 100 টাকা, ওই অ্যাসেটটা যদি আমি 120 টাকায় বিক্রি করি, তাহলে এখানে আমার 20 টাকা ডিমড ইনকাম, এই 20 টাকার উপরে কি ট্যাক্স দিতে হবে? এরকম কিছু বলছেন?
Okay, let us discuss what is said here. So, any plant, machinery, or equipment, what has been used by you for your business or profession. Say, for example, you are a doctor. So you are practicing in a chamber. You have got some equipment, microscope or ultrasonograph machine, whatever you have, you are using them for diagnostic purposes. So that is the equipment you are using, medical equipment, of course, or apparatus, whatever you say. And it has been used for your profession. Now you have decided to sell it off. For some reason, maybe you will buy one advanced one. So previous one you are trying to sell out. So what happens? What you have been doing with that? You have been charging depreciation against the value of the equipment. And you have a written down value every year. So let us suppose that the equipment was purchased 5 years ago at taka 1,000. For example, this is example, of course. It was purchased at taka 1,000. And you are charging depreciation on the value of the equipment at the rate of 10%. So every year you are charging 100 taka as depreciation. After 5 years, you have charged 500 taka. And the written down value of the equipment has stood at taka 500 because you have deducted taka 500 from taka 1,000 and the written down value has come down to 500 taka. Now, if you sell it off in order to buy a new one or to replace it, and if the sale proceed is taka 1,200, you bought the equipment at taka 1,000, but now you have sold it out to taka 1,200. It is because of the fact that the value of that equipment has gone up many times. So if you sell it off at taka 1,200, it is the sale proceed you are getting out of the sale of that equipment. And the written down value, as I have said to you, is taka 500. What is the profit here? The profit is difference between the sale proceed and the written down value, which is taka 700. So 700 is the sale.
200 profit.
700 is the profit, not 200. Because 500 taka is the written down value and sale value is 1,200. So difference between these two is 700 taka. So 700 taka is the profit you are making out of the sale of the equipment. Now what is said here in this subsection? It has been said that so much of the excess means if the sale proceed exceeds the written down value. It has been said that if the sale proceeds exceed the written down value. So sale proceed is 1,200, written down value is 500. So it has exceeded the written down value by taka 700. Now says, the provision says that so much of the excess as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value shall be deemed to be the income of the business under section 28. So much of the profit as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value. The original cost of the equipment is 1000 taka and written down value is 500 taka. So 500 taka is the difference between the two. So much of the excess means up to 500 taka. Up to 500 taka, it would be treated as income from business under section 20. How much you have gained out of the sale? You have gained taka 700 out of the sale. But from this taka 700, up to taka 500 would be treated as income from business under section 28. What about the rest of the amount? That is 200 taka. 200 taka would be treated as income from what?
Capital gain.
Yes, it would be treated as capital gain under section 31. So there would be two incomes here. One income would be income from business under section 28. Another income should be income from capital gain under section 31. So that is the provision, and this provision, that means subsection, is very important for you to remember, and some practical questions or calculation could be set in the examination with regard to that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if it is understandable to you, then let us move to section 1970. 1970 is similar to this one, as we have discussed now. But only difference is that the equipment, machinery, or plant that has been used in the agricultural sector. That means for agricultural purposes. Say, for example, if you used one harvesting machine, or if you have used a building in the farmland or farmhouse for storage of the crops, and that is going to be sold out by you after certain years. So how to treat that income arising out of the sale of the building to the assessment of income. That means how the Deputy Commissioner of Taxes to treat it as income, from which sources. In this case also, there will be two sources of income. So for example, the small building that has been used in the farmland for storage of the crops was constructed at taka 1000, for example. Now the written down value comes down to 500, as you have charged depreciation at the rate of 10% each year. And now you are going to sell it out, and you have sold it out at taka 1500, so for example. So the profit would be taka 1000. And out of that profit, how much would be your income from agriculture, and how much would be your income gain? That is to be determined or calculated. So here also the similar provision. If the sale proceed exceeds the written down value, it has exceeded already because sale proceed is 1500 taka. Written down is 500 taka by 1000 taka, and out of 1000 taka, so much of the excess as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value As we said to you that the original cost was taka 1,000 and written down value is taka 500. So difference between the two is taka 500. So out of the profit you made, that is taka 1,000, 500 taka would be treated as income from agriculture under section 26. And the rest amount is also 500 taka. That would be treated as income from capital gain under section 31. So this is the provision. And this is all about section 1917. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. In that case, you can move to section 1918. 1918 is almost similar, but there is a little difference between section 1916 and 1918. So in 1918, it has also been said that if you receive any salvage money, compensation money, or insurance money, because of the demolishment of the asset, demolishment of the asset or destruction of the asset, it means that the asset could be destroyed because of earthquake, because of flood, or because of some other natural calamities. So, whatever amount you have received as compensation or salvage or insurance, that is your proceed. And you had an acquisition cost, or you had a construction cost, whatever it is, and you have, of course, charged depreciation on the asset value, and of course you have a written down value. So let us suppose that you had a building, small building by the side of the road, and it was actually insured against fire, and you were paying the premium to the insurance company every year, and it was insured for an amount of taka 20 lakhs, maybe, for example. But the cost of the building was taka 10 lakh. When you constructed the building, it was taka 10 lakh. Now you have charged depreciation at the rate of 10% each year. That means 1 lakh taka every year. So after 5 years, the written down value has come down to 5 lakh taka. And it was destroyed by fire. Since it was destroyed by fire, you claimed compensation from the insurance company as you have paid premium money every year. And the insurance company, after making an assessment, came to a decision that, okay, the claim is genuine and the assessee could be given a compensation money of taka 20 lakhs. So whenever you receive that amount, insurance money from the insurance company, it is your proceed. So here, how much profit you have made? Your written down value was taka 5 lakh. Your insurance money is taka 20 lakh. So your profit is taka 15 lakh. But it has been said here that the full amount of profit you have made would not be treated as business income. So what is the provision? The provision is that when the proceed, salvage money, compensation money exceeds the written value, so much of the excess does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value, less the scrap value. So here one point is additional, less the scrap value. Less the scrap value means your building has been destroyed by fire, but however, you got some money out of the sale of the scraps, rubbles, that means bricks, rods, etc. you have sold out. And you have got 1 lakh taka out of that. So much of the excess as does not exceed the original cost and the written down value less the scrap value. What is the written down value? 5 lakh taka. And scrap value 1 lakh taka has to be deducted from 5 lakh taka. That means taka 4 lakh. So 4 lakh and the original cost. Original cost is 10 lakh. So difference between the two is 6 lakh. So up to 6 lakh taka out of the profit of, what is the profit? 15 lakh taka. Up to 6 lakh taka, it would be treated as business income. And the rest amount, that is 9 lakh taka, that would be treated as income from capital gain under section 31. So there are two incomes. One income is from capital gain, another income is from business income under section 28. Clear or not?
বলতে ভালো হতো স্যার।
Are you saying anything or not?
স্যার একটু ক্লিয়ার করলে ভালো হতো স্যার।
Sorry, tell me a little bit loud.
আর একবার ক্লিয়ার করলে ভালো হবে স্যার।
Okay. So, as I explained to you, you had a building, small building, say for example, a pharmacy. So pharmacy is not a very big building, it's a small building. And you constructed it with taka 10 lakh. And you have charged depreciation at the rate of 10% each year. So at the end of the 5th year, your written down value of the building has stood at taka 5 lakh because you charge depreciation at 1 lakh each year. So depreciation you have deducted from the value of the building or price of the building or construction cost of the building. So it is now 5 lakh. And this building was insured against fire, meaning that you are paying insurance money to an insurance company, and the insurance value was set at taka 20 lakhs. And because of fire, the building was destroyed. Since the building was destroyed by fire, you have claimed compensation from the insurance company as you are paying insurance money to the insurance company. Premium. Insurance company tried to verify the claim you made. They came to the spot and they got the evidence of the destruction of the building, and they came to a decision that okay, the compensation money could be given to this SSC because the building was actually destroyed by fire. So you got 20 lakhs taka from the insurance company. But your construction cost was taka 10 lakhs. And your written down value was taka 5 lakh. So how to calculate the income? The income could be calculated by deducting the deducting the written down value from the sale proceed, or the sale proceed is the money received from the insurance company. So your sale proceed, that is the compensation money or the insurance money, is taka 20 lakhs, and your written down value is taka 5 lakh. So difference between the two is taka 15 lakh. That is the profit. But it has been said, whenever you receive a salvage money, compensation money, or insurance, whatever it is, if it exceeds the written down value, so it has exceeded here, because 20 lakhs is of course higher than taka 5 lakh. So profit has stood at taka 10 lakh. Sorry, 15 lakh. It is also said that so much of the excess as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value. What is the original cost of construction of the building? It was 10 lakh taka. And the written down value is taka 5 lakh. So difference between the two is taka 5 lakh. But the provision also says, that means the subsection also says that so much of the excess as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value less the scrap value. So you have to deduct scrap value from the written down value, if there is any. So let us suppose that the scrap value is taka 1 lakh. That means you sold out the bricks and rods, etc. after destruction of the building by fire. So 1 lakh taka, whatever you got out of sale of the scraps, you have to deduct it from the written down value. So written down value, which is 5 lakh taka, is to be deducted by taka 1 lakh. That means 4 lakh taka. So now you have to calculate the difference, 4 lakh taka and 10 lakh taka. The difference between the two is 6 lakh taka. And as it has been said, so much of the excess as does not exceed the difference between the original cost and the written down value less the scrap value. So this is 6 lakh taka we have calculated. And this 6 lakh taka or up to 6 lakh taka, it would be treated as income from business. But if there is any amount beyond that, so yes, there is an amount beyond that. What is that amount? That amount is taka 9 lakh, because total profit comes to taka 15 lakh. So you have to deduct 6 lakh from 15 lakh, it means 9 lakh. So that 9 lakh taka would be treated as income from capital gain. And 6 lakh taka would be treated as income for business. So total would be 15 lakh taka. So that is the provision of this subsection 1918. Is it okay for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Then come to section 1919. It's also the same, because only difference is equipment, building or plant, whatever it is, has been used in the agriculture for the purpose of agriculture. So if it is so, say for example, the storage house which is built in the farmland, that was against flood. It was insured against flood. And when there was a flood, the storage house was demolished. And since it was insured against flood, the concerned person, he claimed compensation from the insurance company, and he got a compensation from the insurance company. And if he has received 20 lakh taka as compensation money, and if the construction cost of the building was taka 10 lakh, and the written down value was taka 5 lakh, so similar calculation would be made. The profit would be 15 lakh, but scrap value has to be determined from the, has to be deducted from the written down value, if there is any. If there is no, then fine. If there is any, that has to be deducted from the written down value. Let us also suppose that here the scrap value is 2 lakh taka. So you have to deduct 2 lakh taka from written down value of taka 5 lakh. which will be 3 lakh. So you have to find out the difference between the original cost and 3 lakh, which is 7 lakh. So your profit is 15 lakh taka. Up to 7 lakh taka, it would be your income from agriculture under section 26. And the rest amount would be your capital gain under section 31. So is it okay for you? 7 lakh taka, you have to deduct from 15 lakh taka, 8 lakh taka. 8 lakh taka would be your capital gain under section 31. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Then move to section 1920. Where an asset representing expenditure of a capital nature on scientific research within the meaning of section 29(1) Roman 10 is disposed of during any income year. So much of the sale proceeds as does not exceed the amount of the expenditure allowed under the said clause shall be deemed to be the income of the assessee for that income year, classifiable under the head income from business or profession. So this is also not a very common case, rather this is very specific. And when there is an expenditure which represents the expenditure of a capital nature, that means an equipment which has been used for research purposes, maybe research purposes. So that is, of course, of capital nature. Within the meaning of section 29(1) Roman 10, Roman 20, is disposed of during an income year. If it is disposed of or sold out in an income year, so much of the sale proceed. So you will definitely receive a sale proceed, and so much of the sale proceed as does not exceed the amount of the expenditure allowed under the said clause. Whatever expenditure has been allowed under section 29(1) Roman 20 shall be deemed to be the income of the assessee for that income year, classifiable under the head income from business or profession. So here also the similar thing. If your sale proceed exceeds the amount of the expenditure which has been allowed under section 29, say, for example, taka 10 lakh has been allowed as expenditure under section 29(1) Roman 20, and you have sold out that asset which was used for scientific purposes in the business at taka 15 lakhs. So the remaining amount, that means the amount which you got out of the sale of the asset, and whatever expenditure you have claimed under that relevant section, if there is any difference between the two, that means if the sale proceed exceeds the expenditure, so it has exceeded the expenditure by taka 5 lakh, and that 5 lakh taka would be treated as income from business or profession. So that is the simple thing. It is not complex, very simple. And then come to section 1921, where any sum is claimed or shown to have been received as loan, advance or deposit of any kind, called by whatever name, or gift by an assessee otherwise than by bank transfer, the amount so received shall be deemed to be the income of such assessee for the income year in which such loan, advance or deposit of any kind, called by whatever name or gift, was received, and shall be classifiable under the head income from other sources. So what is said here is that you have received a loan or an advance or a deposit or gift by an assessee, otherwise than by bank transfer. So you received the loan or advance, not by bank transfer. The transaction did not take place through bank. So in that case, the amount so received shall be deemed to be the income of such assessee for the income year in which such loan was taken or gift was received, and it shall be classifiable under the head income from other sources. So whenever the transaction of loan does not take place through bank, that is, no bank transfer was made, in that case, it would not be accepted as gift or loan or advance. Rather, it will be treated as your income from other source. That means the transaction would not be recognized by the income tax law.
স্যার এখানে
Provided
লিমিট আছে, অ্যামাউন্টের কোনো লিমিট আছে যে এত টাকা পর্যন্ত হইলে চেকে না করলেও চলবে?
yes, yes, of course, we are discussing it now. Provided that where a loan or part thereof, which was deemed as the income under the subclause and included in the total income of the assessee, is repaid or converted into consideration for any goods or services in a subsequent year, the amount so repaid or converted into consideration for any goods and services shall be deducted in computing the income of the assessee for that income year. Up to now, you try to understand that. So when such a loan was treated as your income, because it did not take place through bank transfer, so it was treated as your income. And now, in any subsequent year, if you pay off that amount, that means you are returning back that amount. In that case, it will be treated as your expenditure, deductible expenditure, while calculating the income. So up to now, it is this. Then let us move.
আরেকবার বলবেন স্যার?
Yes,
আরেকবার বলবেন স্যার, ডিডাক্টেবল এক্সপেন্ডিচার কনসিডার কখন করবেন?
it will be deducted as an expenditure while calculating the income of the business. That means you are a businessman and you received a loan, but that loan was not recognized by the income tax law. So that's why it was actually treated as income from other source. Now, in the subsequent year, if you return that loan, in that case, it would be treated as a deductible expenditure, shall be deducted in compute with the income of the assessee for that income year. So your income, that means your income from business. From that business, we suppose that you are a businessman, so that's why your income will be calculated from business. And in that case, that amount which was treated as income by the receipt, now you will allow it as your expenditure of the business. That means deductible expenditure under section 29. So that is what has been said here. Now again we move. A loan shall not be deemed to be an income under the subsection if the loan is taken from a banking company or a financial institution. So earlier we have said about the loan. And if you take the loan, receive the loan from the bank or any banking company, financial institution, etc., in that case, this subsection shall not apply. That means it would not be treated as your income under section 43, because bank has given you loan, and definitely bank will open an account in favor of you, and the amount would be credited in that bank account. So it is, of course, through the bank transfer. So the provision shall not apply to that. Then move forward. A loan or a gift received by an assessee, being an individual, shall not be deemed to be the income under this subsection if the aggregate amount of such loan or gift received in an income year does not exceed 5 lakh taka. So if you are an SSC, that means an individual SSC, and during the income year, if your aggregate loan that you have received, if it does not exceed 5 lakh taka, in that case, it would not be treated as income from other source. So during the whole year, the total amount of loan that you have received from one person or from two persons or three persons, whatever it is, if it does not exceed, that means the aggregate loan does not exceed 5 lakh taka, in that case, the subsection shall not apply. Shall not apply means it will not be treated as income from other source under section 33. And again, the loan or the gift is received from spouse or parents of the SSC, and a banking channel or a formal channel is involved in the process of such loan or gift. So in this case also, it will not be treated as income from other source when you receive the loan or the gift from your spouse, that means from your wife or from your husband, and from your parents, that if the SSC takes the loan from his parents, and a banking channel or a formal channel is involved in the process of such loan. Banking channel means you have received the amount through check. It was not from one bank account to another bank account. That means there was no bank transfer from one account to another bank account, but you just received a check, cash check. So that is also a banking channel. Or it was, or a formal channel is involved. Formal channel, it might be you have just a notarial certificate with regard to that, and some witnesses there, and they have confirmed that you have received that gift from your parents or from your spouse, etc. So in that case, it will also not be treated as income from other source. Under section 33, read with section 1921. Okay. So I believe you have understood it. And I will advise you to read the rest of the handout. There are some other provisions. And hopefully, if you go through it attentively, you will be able to learn all those. If you have any confusion with regard to any of the provisions, you can discuss that one in the next class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Thank you very much for your attendance. Hope to see you again in the next class.
See you again, sir.
See you again, sir. And thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good night.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
ব্রাদার আফারা কেমন আছে?